Welcome to the Cadet First Class Club, a very special coaches show here in April on a spring Thursday night, and a great crowd with us tonight. We're going to talk a lot of Army athletics. First hour devoted to Army Lacrosse. Women's and men's coaches joining us in advance of their big games for the Star coming up on Saturday against Navy. And then in the second hour, we'll be joined by Army football coach Jeff Monken, and to all the kinds of previews that we usually do for a game week leading into tomorrow's Black and Gold Army football spring game. So a lot to do, a big weekend here at West Point, and we will begin with really a celebrity, and I always introduce her as one, and that is the head coach of the Army women's lacrosse team, Michelle Tumolo. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We were on a balcony of the Fenn Center the past 2 years, now at the First D Club, and welcome aboard.
I think you're the real celebrity here.
Hardly.
The voice of the Black Knights. Come on.
Hardly. So, big week for you.
Big week.
So, let's start, and obviously the game against Navy, so important, the biggest game of the year. Also a huge week for you and your family, as you and your wife, mothers for the first time.
We are, yes.
So take me through it.
Oh, get emotional even thinking about it. Yeah, so my wife, rock star, hero, she's been pregnant. We were due May 4th, which is also a very exciting time. It's championship weekend, and with the baby the way it was, we had to plan a C-section. C-section was planned for next week. I get home from practice the other day. The baby decided differently. So she's here. We didn't know it was a girl, so we have a baby girl, Nell, and Mama's doing great. We're so proud and so happy. I feel honored to be her mom.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The emotions of that week, and then leading into what's such an emotional week, right? How are you doing right now?
I'm doing great. I actually, yesterday was a bit tough with being sleep deprived, but I know there's a lot of moms and dads out there that've been through it. You just got to power through. And when I think about it, I think about my players and what they do every day. So I can come to practice ready to go, energized, even if I'm only working on 2 hours of sleep. And it's Army Navy week. Come on, nothing better than that. And our team is playing so well right now, so I'm extremely proud of them and very happy to go into this weekend with the way we're playing.
And you look at your team this year, and then talk a little bit more about it, right? You start the year, and maybe for the first time, this program being hunted by others instead of sneaking up on people, right? And maybe didn't start the way you would have wanted, and then have turned it around. So just give me a snapshot of this 2024 so far.
Yeah, we became hunted as soon as we made the tournament last year, played Loyola neck and neck in a championship game, and that's where we want to be. We always want to be that way, and I scheduled this schedule this year because I want to be the best. I want to beat the best, and I want to be able to win championships. So, going 0-4 wasn't the plan, but I knew that it wasn't going to be easy. And graduating 13 seniors and your whole defense, you just got to find the pieces of the puzzle. It took us a little bit longer to get that going, but I couldn't be more proud of our team for being resilient, being just confident in what we have on our team, and just playing the way we are because of the teams we played against, the Syracuses, the Stanfords, the Loyolas. So yeah, just our team's playing very well right now, so I'm just excited to play against a great Navy team. And
you're able to take your team on the road earlier this year. Michelle Tumolo, the Noto family head lacrosse coach for women's lacrosse here at West Point. And I know Anthony Noto and his family have been so instrumental in Army women's lacrosse, and you were able to pay a visit to Northern California. How was that? That had to be, on a lot of levels, that had to be a special trip.
Amazing. It was kind of in the works. Anthony and I have a very close and great relationship. I'm so grateful for him and his family, Kristen and the kids. We talk all the time, and we were talking about it would be great to get together. And we got Stanford and Cal on the schedule. As soon as we did that, we reached out, talked to him, and he's like, "Hey, you guys are coming over." We went over. His house is beautiful, of course, and just first class people taking care of our team. And when we were trying to get 2 wins for him, but we had a great two games, and just got to talk to him, got to see the girls, and played a lot of ping pong. He has a golf simulator in the back, so we got loose and we had some fun. So
it was fun. It was professional development, right?
Yeah,
got loose and everything. Okay, let's talk about your team. And you look at Bridget Duffy, and she will go down as one of the greatest, if not a short list of great athletes ever to come through West Point. And this second year, she really picked up where she left off from that rookie year.
she's a natural athlete. She's naturally gifted, and she's a go-getter. She's just so fun to watch, so fun to be around, great teammate. And when she's playing well, everyone else is rising with her. That's what I think the best thing about her is she brings everyone with her. She's not a one-woman show. So, Ali Riley, Jolie Garayek are all playing very well around her. So, yeah, of course, she's a special human being, and it's fun to be able to be her coach, but also to see the way our offense and defense plays around her.
So you mentioned Duffy, you mentioned Riley and Garayek. What has been when you look at how this year's turned around, and I know the goaltending has been a big part of how this year has turned, but how has this team gotten better as the year's gone on?
I think we've just been experts in different ways. You can't just be good at offense and be able to win games. You got to be able to get draw control. So our draw team, Marissa Massey, Bridget Duffy, and Madeline Lankart have been so dialed in, so focused on winning the draws and giving our team more opportunity to have the ball and opportunity on offense. We've beat some of the best draw takers in the country. So I just feel that is such an expertise that we've been able to master. Also defensively, we've been able to play a zone defense and a man defense and go back and forth. So we've just been clicking, and then offensively, we're just scoring in all different ways. So I just feel like from the goaltending all the way to the last attacker, we've just been clicking in so many ways. And one thing I do want to point out is our ride. The way we're able to, if we turn the ball over, the other team gets the ball and they're clearing from their defensive end, the way we pressure and get back checks and, really make them uncomfortable, that's an effort piece, and our team has that effort piece. So I couldn't be more proud of that piece of our game.
You mentioned the 0-4 start, and you've played 4 goalies when you look at it technically on the statistics. How have the goaltending situation, would you say, is stabilized a bit from midway through this year so far?
Yes. Lindsay Serafini, coming in last year as a freshman, making extremely important saves against teams like Navy, teams like Loyola, teams like all the Patriot League games, and when she's consistently making saves, our team is better, our defense is better, and she just commands the team back there, and she just has a very cool, calm, collected presence about her, and she's just been doing a great job. We have 6 goalies, so sometimes you just gotta give another look to others, and but Lindsay's been getting that start and been doing a great job.
Navy coming up on Saturday. Now, you're going to travel, tomorrow?
Yep.
So preview that for us, because I guess aside from the rivalry, there's so much on the line because you're fighting for seeding in the Patriot League tournament, in addition to winning the Star, the bragging rights, all that goes along with it. And we'll talk about it on the other side of this break coming up. But first off, how excited are you for this game against Navy?
You know how excited I am. I bleed this place, so we've won back-to-back Stars, first ever 2 years ago, then winning again at home for the first time ever. Now it's just got to be this. It's the standard, and I think for us, we're hitting them on a great time in our season, and I think they are very talented, and they're the ones that are ranked, so in a way they have a target on their back, but we know it's going to be chippy, we know it's going to be emotional, but I think for us, we just got to play our game and do well.
It'll be Army Women's Lacrosse at Navy for the Star coming up on Saturday. We're here with you at the Cadet First Class Club for a special Spring Coaches Show. We will have more with Noto family, Army Women's Lacrosse head coach Michelle Tumolo, coming up in just a moment right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
On April 13th at Michie Stadium, we wear white. It's a whiteout against Navy, and we need you to wear white with us as we defend our home turf in the Star Match. Gear up in white and join us as we look to beat Navy again. Go Army, beat Navy.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
There's something for everybody to enjoy at West Point Family and MWR. Hit the links at our 18-hole golf course with breathtaking Hudson Valley scenery, or let us host your wedding at our top-class catering venue in the West Point Club. Morgan Farms Historic Stables offers large stalls, outdoor rings, and 3 different horse boarding options in a scenic and private location. Don't forget our very own Victor Constant Ski Lodge. Visit us at westpoint.armymwr.com and follow us on Facebook at West Point FMWR.
Then we'll be joined by Army head coach Jeff Monken from 7:30 until 8:30. Joe Alberici coming up at the top of the hour, but right now spending some time with Noto family. Army head women's lacrosse coach Michelle Tumolo. And Michelle, we started the show with just the great joy of being a mother for the first time. We never revealed the name of your new addition.
Her name is Nell Arden Bennett. I wish we had some significance to it, but we really just loved the name for a very long time. And yeah, and we didn't know the sex, so we were very surprised it was a girl. We were all feeling boy. So I'm excited to have a little girl gang and maybe a future Army women's lacrosse player.
I'll tell you, that had to be interesting not knowing, because everyone knows it. We knew it. So were you just like, everything was kind of gender neutral leading up to it?
Oh yeah, a lot of greens though. We like green, so.
That's a good yellows and greens, right?
Yeah,
yellows and greens.
That and tans and browns and all that stuff.
Okay, so we'll talk about Army Navy coming up on Saturday down in Annapolis. But first, a couple questions I had for you when I first saw you tonight. Okay, the hat, that's the hat all year.
Yep.
So when you win on Saturday, you'll still wear it the rest of the year, right?
I will.
Like
he's always trying to steal my hats.
One year I want it. One year I'd like to see it on my desk.
You got it. I'll put it in a box and I'll sign it.
That would be awesome. I would keep it in my office. Michelle, too rich. Michelle. Okay, so, and then that's a new outfit look for you.
Yeah,
I know you're very particular on what you wear.
So, you know, we are a spring sport, but I never get to wear spring clothes because it is always winter here almost. So I've been in kind of puffy coats, all that stuff. So that stuff, you know, but the underlayer is what's important. So, and this game's gonna be on CBS Sports, so you gotta look good.
You're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
When a game's televised.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I don't care, but also, you know.
So you go back, Cindy Timchel, you guys go back a long time, and we've talked about that familiarity and rivalry. I know I've asked you this in the past, but how much of a crossover is it? You know, when your players look across, you know, the sideline, how many are you also recruiting? Are they recruiting your team? How does that go?
I think it's, you know, I don't know what it was like before I got here. I'm sure we always crossed over, but I feel like in the past few years that I have been recruiting, I definitely look at some kids. You know, you can't not look at a kid that wants an academy. I think it's so special to have kids that really want to go here. So you always have to pay them mind. So they're usually looking at both, but you know, if one's really looking at Army, that's something special because they want to be, you know, a kid at the United States Military Academy. So, yeah, we have some crossover, but I think there's some people that want to go that Navy route. Some people want to go the Army route. Some people want to play for Cindy. Some people want to play for us. So you just want to get the right kid. That's all that matters.
Without giving away any secrets here, what do you feel resonates most when you're recruiting? What's the biggest thing, whether it's the academy, personal level, what's the biggest thing you're looking to connect to make that happen?
are you a good person, honestly? And it's hard to tell that in maybe a day or two type visit. But you ask their club coach, you ask other players that might know them, you just ask them questions that mean something to you and your program, and you want good people on your team. You obviously want great players, you want great talent, you're always going to chase that, but you want good people because then your culture's protected, your team and family is protected, and you know, some people need to learn that sometimes when they get to college, and that is my job, to make them great people and future leaders. But I think you can achieve anything when you have a great team, and I cannot talk about my team enough and the people that they are. I'll talk about their talent, but I'll talk about the people first that they are, and that is why I love coaching them. It's not because they can do it behind the back or they can score in different ways. I love coaching them because I love them as people, and I believe that's why we are successful.
And you know, when you guys visited Syracuse, right, in February, and you know, a homecoming of sorts for you, and Michelle Tumolo may be the greatest women's lacrosse player of all time. That's it.
I paid him to say that.
So, but you could tell that affection you still had for your program.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that experience like going back? You took part in some interviews, met a lot of people. I mean, you were the celebrity on campus, right? So take me through that and maybe what your players were able to see and what that meant to you.
Yeah, I think just when you choose a spot to go to play collegiately, you're giving your 4 years of your life or 5 years, whatever you get. And I feel like Syracuse just gave me so much. Obviously, I'm giving my time, my effort, whatever. But they gave me so much. They gave me some of the best coaches, the best experience. It's such a lacrosse historic school, and that's exactly where I felt like was best for me. And I just couldn't love my teammates more. We went to a national championship with a team that we were so talented, but a team that just believed in every single person next to them. So I just felt like that's what I learned as a player. I learned that, and that's because of our coaches, and that's all they cared about was the team culture, team culture, team culture. And so I want to bring that to a program. And when I loved Syracuse when I was there, now I appreciate it even more because I am a part of a program that I'm leading. And I know this place is a little bit different than a Syracuse. So if I could pour all that love and affection to a program that is a little different because we're academy, we're going to be successful. So, it was emotional. It was amazing. I got to see my old coach. I got to see my best friend, who's also the head coach at Syracuse, and she's the greatest player of all time. So I'll give her that.
Ooh, okay. So let's rewind 3 years ago, right? You're wildly successful at Wagner.
Yeah.
You're talked to about this job. Mm-hmm. Did you know it was different? Was different what you were looking for? You know, I'm sure someone like you has options, right? So what was it?
I think different in the best way. It's not different in a bad way. I think different is you're getting very amazing people. You're going to be coaching players that chose this place because they want to help others. I think that is the greatest gift. They are serving others. So for me, that's the most selfless thing you can do. And to be able to go, I feel like that is what my family's about. That's what my motto, always help others before you help yourself. So this place just breeds that, and also breeds excellence. You're just around such great people, such brilliant people. So I knew coming into this I would have hardworking people, great people to their core. So then you build a team around that of athletes. You're gonna be successful in different ways. So yes, maybe it's different schedule-wise, this and that, but this community is the greatest gift I've ever been given. I get to live here. I get to be immersed in all the head coaches because we all are neighbors. I'm gonna have stories for the rest of my life, especially the one with my baby coming this week. Chris Traz will be able to tell a story about that. But I just couldn't love this place more, and different in the best way.
In the best way. You look at where this program is and where you're looking to take it with the current state of college athletics. Now, we can talk about, from conference realignment, everything. How comforting, I don't know if that's the right word, but knowing that Army is different. Now, again, the transfer portal goes one way at the academy out, of course, but how comforting is it that, and credit Mike Buddy and the administration and being an academy, really being insulated to some of that chaos that's going on around.
It does give you kind of like an at-ease feeling, but I'm going to let the NCAA and all that stuff do their thing, and I'm just going to coach my heart out to the best of my ability. And, I think when I think about the transfer portal, I actually I don't even think about it anymore because it doesn't pay any mind to me because I can't take anyone from it. But I think if you're worried about it, you're not coaching your players right. If you're worried about people leaving, if you make it the best experience they've ever had, they're not going to want to leave. So that's been my job. Obviously, the academy side is different when, you know, it might be hard for someone, might not be the right fit, but the lacrosse piece is something I can control. And if I can make everyone feel like they're just part of a family that's bigger than themselves, I'm doing my job.
That's Michelle Tumolo. I'm Rich DeMarco. When we come back on our special coaches show, we'll wrap things up with Coach Tumolo, and then a little later on, we'll segue into Joe Alberici, who is on site here. Came a little early. We appreciate that. Alberici coming up in just a little bit. One more segment with Michelle Tumolo coming up in just a moment here from the Cadet First Class Club right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Thank you.
The biggest game of the year, Army and Navy, for the 124th time on a beautiful December Saturday here in New England.
Good afternoon from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, the home of the NFL's New England Patriots, the first-time host of this Army-Navy Classic, Army-Navy game 124.
Today, nearly 200 Army and Navy football players bring their stories to New England. And the question, who amongst them will author another chapter in the history of this great game? This is the 124th Army-Navy game, America's game. And now goes deep into some traffic and intercepted.
He'll run option to the near side. It's checked right side, outside the numbers, and pushed out of bounds into the Army bench.
Quick throw, Tyson Riley caught, goal line, touchdown Army!
Daly wants to throw, going down the left side, knocked away by Rayon Lane.
The kick on the way. It's a beauty.
Houston's got it down, ball is on the way, end over end, and the kick is good.
Forced the fumble, he recovers it at the 40-yard line, and he's going to take it in for the touchdown!
Levantine throws underneath, got a man, Jay Dumbarger, the Spalding product into the end zone. Touchdown, Navy midshipman.
And there's your Commander-in-Chief Trophy winners for 2023, the Black Knights of Army.
Oh, great bridge music coming back. Danny Ginsberg on the audio tonight, and Ryan Panny. You talk about a celebrity, Ryan Panny.
I play softball with him.
So Ryan Panny, who has become really the off-camera, member of the show on This Week in Army Football. He can do it all, right? He's a softball player.
Yep.
Played college football.
Oh, yeah. You did? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you learn something new every day.
Wow.
So, okay, Army-Navy coming up on Saturday. What are the superstitions? Like, what's going on right now, right? I didn't know if we'd even have you tonight because it was so tight.
I know. Of course. Can't miss it. Superstitions, I always do my speech, I write it the same, paper, same, design on the, silly things. Usually same hat. I didn't wear a hat my first win this season, which is funny because it was pouring rain. But, I digress. It's changed. So, trying to just trying to win lacrosse games. I don't think my outfit really matters.
But you know what, though? It keeps you focused,
it does.
right?
It does.
And if everything's in its right place, you're going to be thinking clearer.
Yes.
So
and you know what? I have great assistant coaches that have helped me in Clear, especially in a week like this when you become a mom. Army Navy week, like really, the baby just wanted to watch the game. I think that's what it was.
And as big as Army Navy is, of course, a huge week for you. Congratulations to Lara, to you.
Thank you.
Nell Arden Bennett, beautiful name, and I'll tell you, you gotta get home and spend some time, and then you're off, right?
Of course, yeah. Then I'm away from her, but. Yeah, I'm so excited. Our team is ready to battle, and I'm excited for it to be on TV. Hopefully, the country can watch it, and if you have CBS Sports, right? We're on.
CBS Sports Network on Saturday, and then Army Navy men's lacrosse as well. It'll be a great time, and hopefully it's going to be a third straight star. Beat Navy, Bridget Duffy, Allison Riley, everyone's just it's gonna be a big game. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Army and Navy coming up on Saturday down in Annapolis. You could watch it, CBS Sports Network. If you can't make it down there, if you're gonna be at the men's game, you could also watch it on TV, CBS Sports Network, Army Navy women's lacrosse. Noto family. Head coach Michelle Tumolo of Army Women's Lacrosse. Michelle, love doing this every year, and we've upscaled the location. The Fenn Center's beautiful, but we just don't have the ability to host as many patrons.
I get it. I totally.
Masters is going on. Using patrons, right? You're not allowed to say fans. Patrons.
Patrons. I do want to say one thing. I want to say good luck to our men's team, Coach Alberici and his staff. They've been doing an amazing job this year, and our team is trying to follow suit. So good luck to the men. Hopefully we'll follow the star right after they finish their game.
And one day I'm getting the hat.
One day
I'm getting.
Everyone will find out when that happens. We'll put it all over.
All over social. Yeah, you could be bringing it to the office. That would be great. Michelle, first of all, congratulations to you and your family.
Thank you.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
That's Noto family women's lacrosse coach here at Army, Michelle Tumolo. Beat Navy, right?
Beat Navy. Let's go.
When we come back, Army men's lacrosse coach Joe Alberici. That coming up in just a moment. You're watching our special spring edition coaches show right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Meet the Chevy CR2 family. When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
On April 13th at Mikey Stadium, we wear white. It's a whiteout against Navy, and we need you to wear white with us as we defend our home turf in the Star Match. Gear up in white and join us as we look to beat Navy again. Go Army, beat Navy.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
There's something for everybody to enjoy at West Point Family and MWR. Hit the links at our 18-hole golf course with breathtaking Hudson Valley scenery, or let us host your wedding at our top-class catering venue in the West Point Club. Morgan Farms Historic Stables offers large stalls, outdoor rings, and 3 different horse boarding options in a scenic and private location. Don't forget our very own Victor Constant Ski Lodge. Visit us at westpoint.armymwr.com and follow us on Facebook at West Point FMWR.
Attention veterans. You can shop tax-free for life. Come home to your military exchanges for tax-free shopping, exclusive pricing, and free shipping options. 100% of earnings go back to military communities, keeping today's military ready and resilient. You served. You sacrificed. You earned this benefit. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to shop and save today.
Fed Credit Union, we help our members make the most of their personal finances so they can make the most of their dreams.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
And we appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Just a great crowd for a 2-hour show. We're 30 minutes in. We talked Army women's lacrosse, the big game coming up against Navy with Noto family head coach Michelle Tumolo. Now we transition to Army men's lacrosse, and someone who has a decorated tenure here as Army men's lacrosse coach is coached this Black Knights team since 2006 and has taken Army to Patriot League championships, to the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament 1 year ago. Had the Black Knights ranked #1 earlier this year. How about a spring coaches show? Welcome to the head men's lacrosse coach here at West Point, Joe Alberici. Joe, welcome.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for having me on.
And it's great having you here. So it's obviously a big week, and Army Navy coming up on Saturday. This isn't new to you. So what's going through your mind? This is a big rivalry, of course. It's also a huge game for your team in the fabric of this year.
Yeah, no question. Just the game itself is a big one. You know, it's one of those measuring sticks that you have in your program. It doesn't determine whether your season's been successful or not, but it is one measuring stick that every year you have that opportunity. The second piece would be it has big-time Patriot League implications, and we know that that's the best route for us to get some more playing time together, the Patriot League tournament, and do well there, and hopefully into the NCAA tournament.
So a couple of setbacks sandwiched around a big win on the road at North Carolina. As a team, how do you feel? Is there a sense of a bounce back you're looking for? I mean, still terrific overall in the season. What's the mindset right now?
Yeah, listen, each game is a new season, and this week's no different. For the first 8 weeks, I was preaching to our guys about let's get better from wins. Let's get better from wins, and we've had a couple setbacks, and the messaging is still the same. We got to get better. We got our nose bloodied last week, and there's a lot that we can learn and a lot that we need to get better at in order to take on a very strong Navy team.
Let's go back to February and a couple big ranked wins over Rutgers and Syracuse, both on the road. Those had to feel good.
Well, especially the Rutgers win, because my good friend here, Rich DeMarco, the Rutgers alum.
A long time ago.
I always take a little extra, but I know who you root for. You root for the paycheck still, so you're an Army lacrosse fan that day. Yeah, that was great.
Tom Hayes is a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Great guy, Tom Hayes.
Amazing man. Did so much for the sport of lacrosse, not only at Rutgers but internationally. Yeah. But yeah, that was a great win for us. Maybe one of our most complete 60-minute games from start to finish. Really dominated that, and to pick up a Big Ten win, that was terrific. And then go up into the Dome with another extremely talented Syracuse team, and it's our third consecutive win against SU. So great wins, kind of propelled us through the early part of the season. Got into the Patriot League, got off to a 3-0 start there, and went up to play a very good BU team, and took a setback, and I was proud of the bounce back that they had going down to Carolina, and as you mentioned, Colgate got the better of us last week, and we just got to get better from that weekend.
In March, you reach #1 in the country. What did that morning feel like? Denver had lost. You kind of knew what was coming. No matter how anything turns out and where you are, that's just a that's a seminal watershed moment in a program. Take me through how special it was, the lead up to it, and then obviously, you know, not wanting to rest on your laurels, but that still had to be so special.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Rich. You really summed it up very well. Like it really is. It's a special thing to be number one. You know, just as first in the program. I think I read somewhere maybe the first time Army had been ranked by an NCAA-sanctioned team of sport #1 since 1959. So significant, significant at this institution, certainly significant in our program. But I would tell you that it was no one's goal to be #1 in March. You know, the goal was to be #1 in May, and so I felt like our guys handled it very well. We embraced it. It wasn't anything that we wanted to run from or not enjoy or pretend it wasn't there. You know, and we had a successful first week against Lehigh as #1. Spent a couple weeks there, and you know now we're gonna work our tails off to get back to that spot.
On the trip to North Carolina, you had a chance to spend time with Mike Krzyzewski, and some of his talk with your team was shared online through the social media channels. Brett Rory and the creative video crew doing a great job getting that out there. What were the biggest takeaways you were able to pick up? And you've had a relationship with Coach K through the years, but to have coming off the #1, right, and have him address your team down there.
Yeah, it was so poignant simply because. What Coach was talking about, he has lived, you know. So when he was talking about West Point, he was a cadet here, you know. He's coached here, so it was so relatable to our guys. And then, of course, when he starts talking about some great teams, I believe he said in his 42 seasons he had 21 teams ranked #1. 21 seasons, which is incredible. But you know, he talked about, hey, we don't hang banners for #1. We hang banners for national championships, and wanted us to just really focus one game at a time. And I felt like our guys really took it to heart, and you know, he's just so generous with his time. Our guys were riveted. We're riveted by his message, and it's so kind of him to make that time for us, and certainly something our guys will never forget.
He made, and in the clip that was shared online, Coach K did express how much of a lacrosse fan he is and his wife is. Now, you spent time as a Duke assistant under Mike Pressler back in the day. How much was Mike Krzyzewski out at the lacrosse games back then?
You know, I don't know if I saw him a lot out on the field, but Coach, again, very generous with his time, often spoke to our team. In fact, Coach, in my last season there, we were headed to the Final Four, and Coach came up and you know, addressed the whole team in our locker room, and he had done that a number of times throughout my time there. And just it's one of these things that no matter what comes out of his mouth, it's so incredible.
It's like living history, right?
Exactly. You know, incredibly impactful, and I can still remember some of the things that he talked about way back then with the teams. But just an amazing person, amazing coach, and you know, so fortunate that we get to call him our own here as a West Point cadet.
No doubt about that. He's Joe Alberici. I'm Rich DeMarco here in a special Spring Coaches Show edition from the Cadet First Class Club. More in just a moment right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield. The biggest game of the year, Army and Navy, for the 124th time on a beautiful December Saturday here in New England.
Good afternoon from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, the home of the NFL's New England Patriots, the first-time host of this Army-Navy Classic, Army-Navy game 124.
Today, nearly 200 Army and Navy football players bring their stories to New England. And the question, who amongst them will author another chapter in the history of this great game? This is the 124th Army-Navy game, America's game. And now goes deep into some traffic and intercepted.
He'll run option to the near side. It's checked right side, outside the numbers, and pushed out of bounds into the Army bench.
Quick throw, Tyson Riley caught, goal line, touchdown Army!
Jaley wants to throw, going down the left side, knocked away by Rayon Lane.
The kick on the way. It's a beauty.
Reedman's got it down, ball is on the way, end over end, and the kick is good.
Forced the fumble, here it goes into the 40-yard line, and he's going to take it in for the touchdown!
Levitine throws underneath, got a man, Jay Duffbarger, the Spalding product into the end zone. Touchdown, Navy midshipmen.
And there's your Commander-in-Chief trophy winners for 2023, the Black Knights of Army.
Back at the Cadet First Class Club, Rich DeMarco here with you, our special Spring Coaches Show. Love doing this. You know, with Joe Alberici, Army men's lacrosse coach. As I was saying to Michelle Tumolo, I mean, we were on the Fen balcony, beautiful place 1 year ago. And now here at the First D Club, lots of folks here. This is great. We see Lieutenant General Gilland, Mike Buddy, so many folks stopping by here tonight. Special.
Yeah, it really is. This is a pretty cool setting.
Great seeing your family, your wife Petra, here with us tonight. Also, your kid's doing quite well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was able to follow, right, Maximus, you know, growing up with this program from the 2010 championship team. Tell me how they're doing.
Doing great. Yeah, Max is a sophomore at Clemson right now, and he's down there. He's working with the women's lacrosse team there as a manager and doing some film editing, and so he's really taken to that.
There was an April Fool's joke that Clemson had started men's lacrosse, and that actually got picked up by a couple legitimate sources. Did you know that?
I did actually hear about that, and I knew right away because I think last year Salisbury was the team that was going to be. So, but no, the women's program, they really went all in. It's in their second year, and Max has been with them from the beginning, and you know, it's kind of has really taken to it.
Future coach, maybe? What do you think?
I think that's what he'd like to do. So
on staff here in a couple years, maybe?
Well, I think his focus really right now is on the women's game and working through that. So hopefully that works out for him. He's a great young man, a bright young man, and somebody that you know, he's hungry to get into that coaching. So hopefully it works out for him.
And your daughter as well, lacrosse player?
Yeah, Isabella is a junior at O'Neill, and where she plays basketball, and she's a lacrosse player there. And this past fall, we were really blessed. She was verbally committed to West Point, so she's going to be a cadet in a couple of years. So we're just so fortunate, you know, to have her at this school, and so fortunate for her to be coached by Michelle. You know, we just love Michelle, and such a wonderful family friend, and a great coach. And you know, to have our daughter under her tutelage is a real blessing.
That's awesome, and great to hear about your family and how well they are doing. So Saturday, Army-Navy men's lacrosse, Black Knights Alley, 10 a.m. Game starts at 1 o'clock. How about a shout out to the marketing office here at West Point? I mean, from the amount of tickets that are out for that game to the atmosphere at each of these home games for the women's and the men's team, a white t-shirt giveaway, a whiteout at Mikey Stadium. it's got to be exciting when there's so many assets put into a game like this.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, Black Knight Alley, the whiteout, the fact that there's going to be probably over 10,000 people there. You know, Rich, that's the largest on-campus crowd for a lacrosse game in a regular season. And it happens right here at West Point, and it doesn't happen by accident. You know, it's tremendous marketing, tremendous job through the administration to support Army Lacrosse, both the men's and women's program, and you know, we're really fortunate, and our players are very fortunate to have that kind of atmosphere, because it is unique to almost all college athletics, and you know, and it's definitely unique in the lacrosse world.
877-TIX-ARMY, GoArmyWestPoint.com. 4 tickets still available, looking to pack as many people as we can into Michie Stadium, and it's going to be, I guess technically, the last game, the last event at Michie before construction begins. No. Area, east stands being fenced off for the Michie Stadium preservation project.
Yeah, that's you know what they've got.
Taking the house down.
Taking the house down, and it's going to build it up. It's going to be beautiful. You know, there'll be a little growing pains with all of it, but you know, in the end, what will be there, the fan experience for football, and we're going to benefit from that, Rich. So you know, that will be open for lacrosse, and you know, what they've worked through is we'll continue to play in Michie Stadium, both men's and women's, for the next 2 years, even while construction's going on. So just like football, there'll be no you know, disruption to our home field, and you know, it's going to be a beautiful thing when it's finished.
MichieStadium.com for all the information about the Michie Stadium Preservation Project. We'll be joined by Mike Buddy a little bit later on in the second hour of the show. We'll talk a little bit more about the project. And you know, for your team, and you think about when you come to a lacrosse game, many times the east stands is populated with fans, right? So for the next couple of years, it'll be on the west side, but that is going to be a premium atmosphere for fans of lacrosse moving forward.
No question. Just the way the layout looks, you know, just a lower level being, I think it's, I don't know all of the ins and outs, but it's about 4,000 seats. And then they'll have the luxury boxes above that. So that's a perfect size for lacrosse right there. And some of our games beyond the Navy game, or when we next year we'll be hosting University of North Carolina. You know, some of those games we got to spread out both east and west stands, but the majority of them are just in the east stands. That will be a tremendous atmosphere.
Before we get a little bit more into your team, and I asked Michelle Tumolo this, but with the transfer portal, with everything going on in college athletics, how has Army Lacrosse, and really both programs, been able to not only stay nationally relevant, but improve? You know, you get to #1 this year. Women's team gets to the tournament for the first time ever last year. From your perspective, how does that happen with all of the upheaval and everything going on in college athletics?
Yeah, listen, you know, I don't know exactly what the answer is, but you know, we know what the playing field is, and we didn't blink at that. You know, that's just what it is, and we never walk away or walk off the field saying, well, you know, those guys had, you know, 5 transfers or this many fifth years. You know, that just never comes into consideration for us. That's just the way the rules are laid out for right now, and you know, I'm very proud of the success the Army Lacrosse family has had, you know, for 106 years. But you know, these more recent years here, given the times, adds a little significance to their success.
So your team and Will Coletti, who's got his fingerprints all over the record book right here. What for Saturday? What needs to happen? Who needs to step up when you visualize this game and an Army victory?
Yeah, when I think of this, just big picture, Rich, it's going to be around possession. You know, we've got to win the ground ball battle, and you know, Will certainly gives us a head start in that. Although he's going to have a heck of a matchup this week with one of the top freshman face-off guys in the country. But you know, all of those in between battles, in between the lines, you know, repossessions, getting the ball out on the first time out of the defensive end. That's going to be a big part of this game, and will tell the tale for the victor is that ground ball play. And specific around people, I think that we just got to have, guys that have been big in big games for us. I think of a Bailey O'Connor, senior. Guys stepped up time and time again in some big situations. Reese Burek, kind of the quarterback of our offense. Those guys kind of leading the way on offense, and then defensively, we rely on our guy AJ Pilot and to kind of handle his matchup, and it will be a tough one this week. And we just got to be really good defensively. I think that there's some area for us to improve there, and I know we will. We're having one of our best weeks of practice.
He's Joe Alberici. I'm Rich DeMarco. One more segment with the Army men's lacrosse coach coming up in just a moment. It's Army-Navy coming up on Saturday at Mikey Stadium. 1 o'clock face-off. We'll be back in just a moment right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
So yeah, USAA, they always have my back.
USAA? You were in the military?
Oh no, I wasn't, but my grandpa was. He joined USAA, passed membership to my mom, then to me.
There's other ways to get in?
Yeah. My neighbor Ron, he's in because his wife served. Even little Luna, once she's born, her dad served.
So all this time I could have had USAA insurance.
And banking.
Where's my phone?
Over there.
USAA, for the military community and their families.
At the United States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the #1 priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team?
West Point, where leaders are made.
Meet the Chevy ZR2 family. They'll never let you down. With features like DSSV dampers, MT tires, and an off-road performance display. When the going gets tough, it's a family you can count on. Introducing the Silverado, Colorado, and Silverado HD ZR2 family of trucks.
Back one more time with Army men's lacrosse coach Joe Alberici here in a special spring coaches show. And how about the crowd we have here tonight? Isn't this awesome?
Yeah, great crowd. Looking at a beautiful girl right in front of me here. My wife, Petra, is front and center. So, yeah, that makes the whole crowd right there.
It's great to have lacrosse fans.
And I got to mention right next to her is the individual who makes all of Army lacrosse work, Miss Amy Prince.
So let's talk about Amy Prince for a second, because you talk about fingerprints all over stuff. I mean, she's involved in everything.
she's
for both programs.
Yeah, what an absolute find she has been for us.
Indispensable.
Yeah, really amazing. Been with us now probably about 16 months, and she's got us all wondering what we did before her arrival
and what you're going to do if she ever moves on.
Well, she keeps assuring me that she isn't, but we got to make sure we keep her in Blue Moon. It looks like as long as we do that, we'll be fine.
So as we wrap up, what is your message to the fans? We're here on YouTube Live and Facebook. What is your message? Whiteout coming up on Saturday. What's the message to these fans that are going to be packing into Michie Stadium?
Yeah, listen, we're so excited. As I said earlier, Rich, it is a college lacrosse scene like none other, and I want everybody to know out there that our guys feel it. They feel the force of your presence, of your energy and enthusiasm for Army Lacrosse and the Army Lacrosse family, and appreciate you being there, and hopefully you'll be in full throat.
Well, that sounds good. 1 o'clock on Saturday, Army and Navy men's lacrosse coming up at Michie Stadium, 877-TIX-ARMY. Go ArmyWestPoint.com for tickets. Joe, good luck to you and your team against Navy.
Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it. And I got one more second.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for all you do for Army sports. As we were talking off air here, you're number 20, the voice of Army sports. Nobody does it better. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of what you do for this athletic department. So thank you.
Wait till the first to cash the check. Okay, Joe, thank you very much for saying that. Thank you for your continued just work and just loyalty and just positivity with this Army Lacrosse program.
Thank you.
That's Army men's lacrosse coach Joe Alberici joining us on our special Spring Coaches Show coming up next. And Jeff Monken is here. I've been told Jeff Monken is in the building. We'll have Jeff Monken for the next hour to talk Army football with the Black and Gold Spring Game coming up tomorrow night. We'll be back in just a moment right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
Attention veterans. You can shop tax-free for life. Come home to your military exchanges for tax-free shopping, exclusive pricing, and free shipping options. 100% of earnings go back to military communities, keeping today's military ready and resilient. You served. You sacrificed. You earned this benefit. Visit shopmyexchange.com/vets to shop and save today.
So yeah, USAA, they always have my back.
USAA? You were in the military?
Oh no, I wasn't, but my grandpa was. He joined USAA, passed membership to my mom, then to me.
There's other ways to get in?
Yeah. My neighbor Ron, he's in because his wife served. Even little Luna, once she's born, her dad served.
So all this time I could have had USAA insurance.
And banking.
Where's my phone?
Over there.
USAA, for the military community and their families.
At the United States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the #1 priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team?
West Point, where leaders are made.
Meet the Chevy ZR2 family. They'll never let you down. With features like DSSV dampers, MT tires, and an off-road performance display. When the going gets tough, it's a family you can count on. Introducing the Silverado, Colorado, and Silverado HD ZR2 family of trucks.
And welcome back to the Cadet First Class Club, our special spring coaches show. We've heard from Michelle Tumolo and Joe Alberici, head coach of the Army women's and men's lacrosse teams. And now joining us right now for the next hour, the second half of our show. How about a big spring coaches show welcome to the star of This Week in Army Football in the fall, and lucky enough to spend some time with us here on our spring show, and that is the one and only Jeff Monken. Jeff, welcome.
Good to talk Army football.
Always great to talk Army football. Spring game, black and gold game.
I talk about it every day, Rich.
Oh.
Every day.
I talk about it every day, too. This is very exciting, coming off the season, which ended with 4 straight wins. Commander-in-Chief's Trophy, victory over Navy, some changes on offense, which are very exciting. And now through spring, which maybe went a week longer, at least on the calendar, because you wrapped around spring break. And it's all going to culminate tomorrow night in the black and gold game. Exciting times.
It's a great reward. The spring game, that's exactly what it is. For the guys to have some fun, and for 14 days we've been out there practicing, and they practiced hard and learned a lot, and hopefully some of the things we learned will show up, and guys will make some plays, but more than anything, compete and enjoy the night. And hopefully we're going to get some nice weather. This rain right now has got me a little concerned, but I'm hoping for a nice night tomorrow.
You know, I just think of spring games, and I digress when I talk Army football. I think of a rainy spring game, I don't know, about 5 or so years ago, and Jabari Laws had a tremendous spring game, then beset with the injuries. And then really the shining moment, that shining drive against Missouri in the Armed Forces Bowl. So many memories on spring games. And I'll tell you, it's just, you say a reward, it's just a great time to celebrate this program. And it brings joy to so many people throughout the fall and throughout the year. Weather regardless. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night.
Well, I think that game you're talking about went to overtime.
Yes, it did. It wouldn't end.
In a spring game.
It wouldn't end.
The officials we had out there looked at me like, you going to overtime? I'm like, heck yeah, we're going to overtime. We're going to play this thing out.
The game wouldn't end.
And it was pouring down rain, and I think everybody had gone home by that point, except for all of us that were playing, and it was fun. And tomorrow will be fun. And what's great about it is there's a lot of guys on our football team that haven't had a chance to contribute on the field in Mikey Stadium. And to be there under the lights and in front of a crowd, we found out a lot about them. It's a great chance to evaluate, but also just an opportunity for them to play in Mikey Stadium and to make plays and compete. And so everybody will be fired up. There'll be guys jumping up and down and celebrating with players that haven't made a play in Mikey Stadium, and they're going to make some tomorrow night, and that's going to be great.
So we haven't really talked at length about it since the end of the season. But big news in this short offseason so far has been some changes to the offense, going from a shotgun-based option to now being back under center with some shotgun elements. Tell us a little bit about the transition and how it's gone so far in the spring.
We moved over to the shotgun offense really in response to the blocking below the waist rule, and the fact that we can't block below the waist anymore. And really felt like we could be the same kind of team that created problems with option plays and reading defenders at different places on the field. And really, frankly, Rich, what we found out as we went through the season is we were a lot more like everybody else than we were different. And the equalizer for us is to be different. So we kind of took a step back, evaluated what we were doing, and discovered that there were probably elements of the offense that we had been running from under center that could still be a part of what we were doing, and that we could have success running those plays despite not being able to block below the waist, both in the box and outside the box. And there are elements of that former offense that we won't be able to execute as effectively because we can't use the cut block or the block below the waist. But there are elements that we can use, and we're going to. And we learned a lot of things this past year, being in the gun and doing the things that we did throughout the year, option plays and non-option plays, that we could incorporate as well. And so there's some carryover from last season. For our most veteran players, there's certainly some carryover from what we had done, but it's a different offense. It's different than what we were doing 2 years ago. It's different from what we were doing a year ago. So there's been a lot to learn, and there's growing pains in that. But I've been really encouraged by the way our guys have responded, and particularly at quarterback. I think that group has done a really good job. Offensive line, what we're doing, I think, is built for the kinds of guys we got on our offensive line. So there's good days ahead, and I don't know what it'll look like tomorrow night, but I'm confident that we're going to be able to have success on offense.
Why was Cody Worley the choice at offensive coordinator?
He's got experience in this under center option, and it's hard to find guys that have experience in this offense.
Dwindling breed.
It is. There's not many left. And there are some other schools that are doing it and doing it very well. Harding won the Division II National Championship. I mean, they're running over people, running through people, running the under center option offense. But there's just not a lot of teams out there doing it. And he's got experience at the Citadel, experience at Kennesaw, experience with us, and coaching the quarterbacks in the system. You really have to learn the entire offense and how it all works, whether it's the blocking schemes or the protections and passing game. And so he was ready, and we're very confident in him. And we got other coaches on our staff that have experience with the offense as well. And it wasn't like we had to make a wholesale change and go get a bunch of different coaches that we had a year ago. You know, Mike Vitti and Matt Drinkel and Blake Powers, Aaron Smith. Those guys have all coached in this offense in the under center option system. So there's carryover. We hired Dane Romero, who's got a lot of experience at Wofford running the offense. He's going to coach our slots, and he's been great. I've been here 2 weeks. Came right after spring break. We hired him in the middle of spring practice. And, I mean, he stepped in and didn't miss a beat, and really, really fortunate to have him as well. So I'm excited about the coaches that we've got and the direction that we're headed, and looking forward to the fall and getting prepared for the first game.
Tomorrow, black and gold game, 6:30 p.m., Mikey Stadium, admission free, and looking forward to seeing everyone out there. For folks coming out to the spring game tomorrow night, are you 100% installed or reinstalled in this offense? How far along would you say this system is?
Oh no, there's elements to the offense that are going to have to go in preseason camp, in the weeks leading up to the first game. But that's the same for the defense. We don't have the entire defense installed right now. We don't have all the special team schemes installed right now. There's really, spring is meant for developing fundamentals and really giving players who don't have as much experience a lot of time to develop and gain the experience that they're going to need to get into scrimmages and in the spring games so that we can evaluate them and figure out, at least leaving spring ball and going into the summer as our coaches meet and discuss where people are going to fit from a personnel standpoint, and we've got confidence in who can make a play. So big fundamentals, learning the systems, and the little details that are going to be so important for the first game. And we just can't get to all of them in the 14 practices that we have, but we'll get to them before we play. And so tomorrow night's just going to be a showcase of kind of where we're at to this point.
We got a lot to talk about this hour. We're going to have questions. Corey is here. She'll join us a little bit later on. We'll have questions from the crowd here at the Cadet First Class Club. Coming up next, we'll be joined by the Director of Athletics here at West Point, Mike Buddy, to talk about the excitement surrounding the Mikey Stadium Preservation Project. A lot to do on this special edition of the Spring Coaches Show when we come back in just a moment, right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
The biggest game of the year, Army and Navy, for the 124th time on a beautiful December Saturday here in New England.
Good afternoon from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, the home of the NFL's New England Patriots, the first-time host of this Army-Navy Classic, Army-Navy game 124.
Today, nearly 200 Army and Navy football players bring their stories to New England. And the question, who amongst them will author another chapter in the history of this great game? This is the 124th Army-Navy game, America's game. And now goes deep into some traffic and intercepted.
He'll run option to the near side. It's checked right side, outside the numbers, and pushed out of bounds into the Army bench.
Quick throw, Tyson Riley caught, goal line, touchdown Army!
Jaley wants to throw, going down the left side, knocked away by Rayon Lane.
The kick on the way. It's a beauty.
Richmond's got it down, ball is on the way, end over end, and the kick is good.
Warner forced the fumble, he recovers it at the 40-yard line, and he's going to take it in for the touchdown!
Levitine throws underneath, got a man, Jay Dumbarger, the Spalding product into the end zone. Touchdown, Navy midshipmen.
And there's your Commander-in-Chief trophy winners for 2023, the Black Knights of Army.
Welcome back to the Cadet First Class Club, our special spring coaches show here in hour number 2. We're with you until 8:30 tonight, the second half of the show, talking some Army football with the spring game, the black and gold game, coming up tomorrow night at Mikey Stadium, 6:30 p.m. start time. Admission is free. And, of course, Army-Navy men's lacrosse on Saturday. Black Knights Alley starts at 10 a.m. Game starts at 1. Tickets on sale, 877-TIX-ARMY or GoArmyWestPoint.com. So we're with Army football coach Jeff Monken in the second hour, and now joined by our special guest, Director of Athletics here at West Point, and coming up on his 5th anniversary here at West Point as the athletic director. How about a This Week in Army Football special spring coaches show? Welcome to Mike Buddy. Mike, welcome.
Thank you, Royce. What is the 5th anniversary? Is that like gold, or what do I get for my 5th anniversary?
Is that paper? What is that?
It's probably
Paper's
paper.
3,
It
maybe?
doesn't seem like it's that long. I mean, really.
It doesn't. It's a good point, Jeff.
It's gone fast.
Time flies when you're having fun, Coach.
You said it.
Well, and I think when you're progressing, right, when you're not stagnant, it goes fast, right? Because it's constantly new and it feels like it was yesterday. And in that vein, we have something special coming up here. And the Saturday lacrosse game, Friday night's spring game, Saturday lacrosse game is not a changing of the guard, but it's going to be a monumental moment because those will be the last events at West Point played in the current configuration of Mikey Stadium. MikeyStadium.com, the Mikey Stadium Preservation Project, set to begin early next week. And needless to say, Mike, so much excitement going on right now.
Well, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? And so we've been able to evolve continuously, and it has not been an easy road, as you well know. But, you know, General Caslin and Boo Corrigan and Jeff Monken started with a vision, and General Williams kind of continued it, and then Mike Buddy entered in, and General Gilland, and just the amount of support that we've gotten at the level that we've gotten has brought us to this point. But honestly, now the real work begins. But when this thing's done in 2026, there will not be any other venue like it in the United States. Usually to have the view and the amenities that we're going to have, you're usually 300 feet in the air. I mean, these seats are going to be 50, 60 feet above the Corps of Cadets, which is a phenomenal atmosphere and energy to begin with. So we're really excited to break ground. There will be some growing pains, as with any construction project, but it'll be worth it, believe me.
So the Mikey Stadium Preservation Project, and it's going to help all varsity sports here at West Point. But Jeff Monken, first off for you, and from an atmosphere standpoint, the cadets, everything that goes into an Army football game day, it seems to be just another piece to making it even more perfect.
It will
at West Point.
It will. It will change. It will change the feel of that stadium. It'll change the sound and the sights and just the energy in that stadium. I'm sure just as Mikey Stadium changed in the 60s. It didn't always look like it does now. In the 60s, they added the east stands, and later in the 60s, they added the upper deck, and I imagine how exciting that was at that time. And now it's the next phase, and so it's going to be fantastic. And what you said about Mike, and just the incredible job he's done. You know, this was a vision and a hope and a dream, but you got to get it to the finish line. And there's been a bunch of challenges, and there's not enough time on this radio show to talk about all the challenges, but Mike has gotten us to the finish line, and it's going to be truly awesome, and we're really excited about it.
Mike, how did it feel late fall, early winter, when you knew everything was in place and this was going to be a go?
Well, you know, you just like any football game, right? You complete a mission, and then you immediately you raise a glass and you get ready for the next one. And so, you know, we've got plenty of logistical issues as we're moving people out of the east stands and finding them a place to have offices, and you know, relocating DCA and MWR and all of our good partners here, and then making sure that we communicate as well as we can. And you're a big part of that with doing the voiceovers and a lot of these videos, because it's going to be a different experience. And when that road is closed forever, people need to get used to having to go a little bit further around the stadium. So just making sure that we communicate as much as possible about challenges for the next 2 years with seating, with parking, the changes that are going to accompany those. But again, it's all about progress, and giving this gentleman to my left every opportunity to be competitive. When these young men they have options, and it's a war for talent for the Army, and it's a war for talent for certainly Army football. And we've got to put our best foot forward and have state-of-the-art facilities that are relevant and that are top of the line, the gold standard, like everything that's expected at West Point.
And, you know, when you look at communication and the external unit in the Army Athletic Department's done a great job with a multifaceted external plan. Really, for everyone visiting, living on West Point, you know, the storyline's going to be, you know, starting Monday, Mills Road is closed forever. It's not going to look ever like it does again. And I think that's important for all our constituents in the community to know. And then what is being built there, obviously so special. And Jeff Monken, and I asked Jeff about the impact on football, of course, right? Thought it was very great to hear Joe Alberici, Michelle Tumolo talking about how much this will help their programs, who of course call Mikey Stadium home. And I think it's key when you talk about the narrative and important talking points that this is going to affect every varsity sport here at West Point.
Absolutely. And part of it is image, which is important. But when the general public looks to West Point, you expect the best of the best young people, the most disciplined, talented, intelligent kids. And so our facilities need to reflect that. And so Mikey Stadium is historic. They used to say Yankee Stadium was historic, and that's why they knocked it down and built a new one. We don't want to knock it down and build a new one, but we do need to stay relevant. We do need to have an option to use that venue in the winter time, in the winter months. And so all of these things, we ask the cadets to go out there every Saturday and stand up and support the young men who are playing to represent them. And so having facilities and concessions and upgraded opportunities, it's important for all of us. And by the way, there's 18 suites on the top floor that aren't going to be used just 6 times in the fall, right? Those are mini offices and meeting rooms. And so we're going to get creative and make sure that we utilize this facility the way we should.
And Jeff, we were talking about it, just the vision of Mike Buddy, the confidence he speaks with. I mean, this doesn't get done without him and his staff.
No, it doesn't. And Mike's, Mike and his ability to be able to connect with people, and as he said, he's been here 5 years, not 25 years. So to make those connections as early as he did in his tenure, and to build those relationships and the trust that so many of our grads have, former players, West Pointers all over the world that believe in Mike Buddy and his vision and his purpose and what he's doing to help build this academy. Not just our program, our sports programs, not just our football program, but West Point and what we do every day to develop leaders of character.
Talking about connecting, after that Tulane game a few years ago when Mike Buddy threw some BP to you, did you connect at all?
Well, I was opening up my front shoulder way too much. He didn't give me any coaching, to his credit. He just let me swing away.
Just for our listeners and our viewers, after a game at Tulane, the Army locker room near the batting cages at Tulane University, and Mike Buddy got out there and threw some BP to you.
Well, they happened to have the press conference after the game inside the batting cage facility. And after we got done, he tossed me a bat, and he threw me a bunch of lollipops. He took it easy on me.
Okay, fair enough. Mike, what message for these Army fans? I know you have a lot of gratitude toward those able to make the Mikey Stadium Preservation Project happen and really support all these programs here at West Point.
Well, gratitude is the right word, and that's first and foremost. My shirt says the next, right? I mean, so right now in college athletics, we are remaining relevant and competitive when everybody else in the planet is paying these people a salary, essentially. Let's call it what it is. They're paying them a salary every week. They're paying them money to sign with their schools. And yet, Coach Monken, Coach Alberici, Coach Tumolo, we're just as competitive as ever. And the young people who are choosing to come to West Point are doing it for the same reasons they did in the 20s, 30s, 50s, 70s, 90s. They want to serve their country. They want to become leaders of character. That is first and foremost to what we do. And while the rest of the world has kind of changed how they approach education, scholarship, character, accountability, none of those things have changed here, and we're going to be just as relevant, and it's even more relevant to beat Navy and Air Force because they're actually two of the few schools that bear any semblance of recognition to how we operate.
And Mike, let's get, if you could stand, let's get a quick look at that shirt. 1 o'clock Saturday, Army-Navy men's lacrosse, the giveaway, the white Beat Navy t-shirt, also a white out. Everyone wear white to the game. And Mike Buddy with a sneak peek of our giveaway, the Beat Navy t-shirt. Mike, as always, thank you for some time.
Thank you, guys. Beat Navy.
That is Army Director of Athletics Mike Buddy. I'll be back with Jeff Monken on our special Spring Coaches Show coming up in just a moment, right here from the Cadet First Class Club on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
On April 13th at Mikey Stadium, we wear white. It's a whiteout against Navy, and we need you to wear white with us as we defend our home turf in the Star Match. Gear up in white and join us as we look to beat Navy again. Go Army, beat Navy.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
There's something for everybody to enjoy at West Point Family and MWR. Hit the links at our 18-hole golf course with breathtaking Hudson Valley scenery, or let us host your wedding at our top-class catering venue in the West Point Club. Morgan Farms Historic Stables offers large stalls, outdoor rings, and 3 different horse boarding options in a scenic and private location. Don't forget our very own Victor Constant Ski Lodge. Visit us at westpoint.armymwr.com and follow us on Facebook at West Point FMWR.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
Attention veterans. You can shop tax-free for life. Come home to your military exchanges for tax-free shopping, exclusive pricing, and free shipping options. 100% of earnings go back to military communities, keeping today's military ready and resilient. You served. You sacrificed. You earned this benefit. Visit Shop My Exchange.
Show as we're joined by Army head coach Jeff Monken here for the final half an hour of our 2-hour show. I'll tell you, this goes by very, very fast. And Jeff, we just finished up with our special guest, Army Director of Athletics, Mike Buddy. And how about the things Mike and his staff have done here and the Mikey Stadium Preservation Project? Really, everything's going to begin in just a couple of days.
People don't, they won't ever give Mike enough credit for that. It is hard to do. And that's every dollar that was raised, privately funded and raised by Mike, his staff, and just the relationships, as Mike said, with previous athletic directors and superintendents that started this and had this vision and this hope and this dream, and he was able to get us to the end, and just so happy that we're going to have a new face to Mikey Stadium. It's going to be incredible.
Tomorrow night, black and gold game, Army football spring game. Tell us a bit about the format and how it's going to look out there for the fans.
So it's going to be a real game. We'll have officials from the American Athletic Conference that'll come in. They've done our scrimmages this spring as well. But they'll be out there and to kind of keep control on the game. It's going to be high emotion. You know, these guys are teammates, and they're going to love competing against each other tomorrow. But we split the team today, so we truly have two football teams that'll be on opposite sidelines and play a game. We split the coaching staff in half, everybody. So it's going to be fun. And what I enjoy about it is really seeing our coaches and our staff work the sidelines and have to manage a football game respectively on their sidelines without the entire staff. So you've got Coach Worley on one side and Coach Woody on the other, and their staff is split. So Coach Worley doesn't have everybody on the sideline or in the press box with him like you typically would, nor does Coach Woody. And so coaches got to coach multiple positions. They got to coach special teams. They got to get substitutions in at the right time, and it's great for them. It's a great experience and great opportunity for them. And as you know, I kind of stand in the back and just watch. I stand behind the offense and take it all in. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And so truly a football game with a kickoff to start the game. We'll play it out, punts at the appropriate times, field goals, etc. And so we'll kind of see what we got tomorrow night.
How's the team split up? How did you go about that?
So we split the first offense and first defense so that they would square off against each other to start the game, and they're going to play probably the most plays. So you have our guys at the top of the depth chart going against each other. And then we took the next guys and split them up evenly. So the second guy at a position with one team, the third guy with another. The fourth would travel with the two, and the fifth with the three if we go that deep. Most positions aren't that deep. There's a couple like that. And then we split the kickers and punters and try to do that strategically so that each side would have an equal opportunity to be able to call whatever play they wanted, execute any kicking situation that may come up, and play it out.
So that's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. The black and gold spring game, 6:30 at Mikey Stadium. Admissions free. So we've got a lot of ground to cover since the Army-Navy game. A lot's gone on, right? So one of the things I wanted to ask you about was, how about Cole Christensen? First Army football player to play in and win a Super Bowl, his second Super Bowl, and made a big play in that Super Bowl.
He did.
On the fumbled punt. How did it feel for you? 2 straight rings for him. Played this year in the game and had a key play.
Incredibly proud, and it's a source of pride for our program. It's a source of pride for this academy, for the United States Army, the men and women he represents, and I'm just happy for him and his family. It's awesome. I remember when he was a senior in high school, and I visited him in his hometown, went to a restaurant, had breakfast with his mom, his dad. Coach Bateman was there with us, and here he is playing in Super Bowls and putting on a second Super Bowl ring. So really, really happy for him and proud of him.
And the key play, if you go back to the Super Bowl, on the muffed punt, which set up the Chiefs' touchdown, punt was muffed. Cole Christensen did the right thing, buried the returner, so he had no chance to recover it. Chiefs recovered, went on to score a touchdown, and that really turned around the game.
It did, and he was a really good special teams player for us here. And I'm glad to see that he's really, earning and keeping his spot with the Chiefs because he's making plays on special teams.
Okay, so a couple questions I wanted to get to. Jeff, you mentioned tomorrow's spring game. We'll start with a kickoff. Well, kickoff has been a buzzword with the NFL and some rules changes. I know you're on the cutting edge of rules changes. You also happen to have probably the best special teams coordinator in the country in Sean Saturnio. Your thoughts on basically the kickoff zone and the return zone, and to really sum it up, there's really not much movement until the kickoff's fielded from the return team, and then it limits the amount of impact. Your thought on the new NFL kickoff rule?
I don't like it. I like the kickoff traditionally like it is. What it will completely eliminate are the surprise plays on kickoff, which it's part of the game. A surprise onside kick, a pooch kick, a squib kick, and I disagree, and maybe they could come up with a bunch of data and that kind of stuff that says that more injuries are happening on that play than any other. It certainly doesn't happen in our plays. The kickoff play, the kickoff return play, we don't have guys getting hurt on that play any more than they do on any other play. And in fact, I can't remember the last time we had a guy get hurt on the kickoff or kickoff return team. But it is what it is, and a lot of that is driven in the NFL by the NFL Players Association. And so if they're asking for that, then they're the ones making the money. And as they say, the golden rule, those who have the gold makes the rule. And so they got all the gold, so they got a lot of influence, and I hope it won't change. I hope we still have the opportunity to kick the onside kicks and kick the pooch kicks, because I think it's part of football and part of the game.
Yeah, and have to declare an onside kick and have it be a completely different setup from the yard line. That's something to get used to in the NFL, but as a special teams expert, definitely had to get your take on that. You mentioned tomorrow night the spring game being a reward for the spring. I'll tell you, in a few weeks, your team is going to get a reward for winning the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, and that's a trip to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C.
What a great privilege for our team to be able to do that. I'm particularly happy for our seniors to be able to go to the White House and accept the trophy on behalf of our team. They were guys that, as freshmen, won the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, and because of the pandemic, couldn't make the trip to the White House. They canceled the trip. So to be able to finish their career with a trip to the White House is really special. It's a memorable moment for everybody. It'll be a lifetime, just a lifetime memory for all of us that are making that trip. And so I'm glad that the president and the office of the president thinks enough of the Commander-in-Chief's trophy and the importance of it to not only college football and the 3 schools that compete for it, but also to our nation, that they'd invite us to the White House. And that's typically for Super Bowl champions and World Series champions and national champions. And so to win this trophy and to be able to go and accept that from our Commander-in-Chief's pretty special.
We have some questions from online, which we will get to. Corey sent them to us, coming up in just a moment here on our special Spring Edition Coaches Show. Back in just a moment here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
So yeah, USAA, they always have my back.
USAA? You were in the military?
Oh no, I wasn't, but my grandpa was. He joined USAA, passed membership to my mom, then to me.
There's other ways to get in?
Yeah. My neighbor Ron, he's in because his wife served. Even little Luna, once she's born, her dad served.
So all this time I could have had USAA insurance.
And banking.
Where's my phone?
Over there.
USAA, for the military community and their families.
At the United States Military Academy, you're on the team from day one.
A team where people are the #1 priority and winning matters.
A team of scholars, athletes, and leaders, each striving to become all that they can be.
Are you ready to join our team?
West Point. where leaders are made.
Meet the Chevy ZR2 family. They'll never let you down. With features like DSSV dampers, MT tires, and an off-road performance display. When the going gets tough, it's a family you can count on. Introducing the Silverado, Colorado, and Silverado HD ZR2 family of trucks.
And welcome back to our special Spring Coaches Show. Jeff Monken with us until the bottom of the hour. Have time for some questions for Jeff Monken. And here we go. Austin DeMarco, no relation, wants to know if any of the seniors partake in the spring season at all to help out.
In fact, they do. We've got several of our graduating senior players that are going to be commissioned as second lieutenants in May that will serve as athletic interns, or AIs as they call them here, and they'll help with the program this coming fall. So we've got a few of those guys will help us in our office at Mikey Stadium. Some of those guys will coach the prep school team up at USMAPS. Some will work in the weight room, and so we got several guys that are going to do that for us, and those guys throughout the spring will serve as coaches and as really as assistants to our coaches and learn the ropes. And so they're a big part of it, and it's fun to see those guys transition from player to staff, and then to see them in the fall and how they take on those roles and the leadership opportunity that they've got for the first time as a second lieutenant. And I'm always just so impressed with how professional they are and how well they handle that transition of coaching guys that they just got done playing with.
I got to ask you, and he is a friend of the show. We try to have him on once a year. How is Clayton Kendrick Holmes doing?
Doing fantastic. I think the place would fall apart if we didn't have him on our staff. He does a great job, and he's really my right-hand man. And I'm so glad he's on our staff.
The coach of the staff, almost.
He is.
The chief of staff.
He is. As he calls himself, the chief of stuff. But he's a former head coach. He sees things from a head coach's perspective. And he really keeps his eyes on and inspects the things that I expect and understands from a head coach's perspective and can bring me those things. I don't have to keep my eye on every single thing going on in the program. He can kind of oversee those other departments outside of the X's and O's so that I can coach football and recruit, build relationships with our players. As I say, the two most important jobs of the head coach: procure talent and drive culture. And so I try to focus my efforts there and allow Clayton to help me with the other stuff.
Maddie Lovey's our next question. Jeff, does the team partake in any team building activities during the spring?
we have a competition that goes on starting in January, and it's run by our strength team. So our current roster is split into 4 teams right now, and throughout the entire spring, they've been earning points for their team, and along the way they get rewarded. But at the end of spring practice, and really it'll probably be another couple of weeks before we completely finish with our off-season workouts and those kinds of things, we have a last one-day competition. And the winner goes the spoils. We have a big dinner and reward those guys with that. And so that allows those guys to not only lead, inspire and motivate each other, but to be accountable to a team. And I don't know that there's anything more important that you can do as a teammate than to be accountable to your teammates, to be accountable to other people in the organization. So that builds team. We do a lot of activities outside of the football realm in the community. We do some community service projects on campus and in the outside community as well. So that's really good for our players. It's good for our players to go and serve together and do things together, and that builds that camaraderie and that trust.
Who are a couple players who have stepped up this spring that have maybe taken that step you were looking for?
Well, there are so many guys that I've been impressed with and really happy with the progress that they made. I just talking about groups, the offensive line, the depth that has been developed there. Young guys like Paolo Generali, Henry Appleton, they didn't play at all last year, and those guys are going to be big factors into what we're going to do in the fall. I'm excited for those 2 guys, but really for that group of guys. And there's other guys in that group as well. The quarterbacks, Cale Helms and Dwayne Coleman, who's been around for now going on his 3rd year, had really good springs. Defensively, we lost a lot of guys in the secondary. And so there's been a good group of guys. Donovan Platt, Jaden Mays really kind of pushed themselves to the top of the depth chart and had a good spring. But Justin Weaver, who I think is a very talented player, I think he's going to have a chance to help us. The defensive line, guys like Jack Bowsam, freshman, played on the scout team. Now all of a sudden he's 50 pounds heavier than when he got here. Guys like that are stepping up and going to be helping us. Elo Mendoza is worked his way now as a result of graduation and the fact that he's very talented to the top of the line at outside linebacker. We moved some guys around. Casey Larkin from safety to the nickel position. Stephen Nadozi from corner over to safety. All young guys that I think are going to have a chance to contribute. David Croston is the one veteran tight end we have, and really after that, it's all freshmen. But guys like Parker Pulaski, who I think's got a lot of ability. He's been hurt in the spring a little bit, but I think he's going to have a chance to help us. And Brian Dyer and Teddy Williams and guys at that position that are developing the. You talked about the changes in the offense, and so some guys that were playing skill positions are finding themselves in a little different role, or having to draw on some different skill sets that they have. And Noah Short, moving from really what was a receiver position at slot to a true slot back position. But to watch him be able to make that transition, he's done a terrific job. I'm really proud of him. There's a lot of guys, young guys at that position, as well as a running back, Kanye Udo, who had such a great freshman year. Really excited about him. Jake Rendina. 2 guys that have been on the depth and on our team, A.J. Williams and Jarrell Dixon, both rising seniors who I think are really again, with this transition back to the under center stuff, we're going to have a role and be able to help us. So I could go on and on. Trey Granati is our kicker. I think he's done a really good job this spring, how he stepped up. So there's a lot of guys. And tomorrow night, that's what's fun. You get a chance to see them in a game situation. There's not a coach standing right behind them, giving them coaching points and reminding them of things. They got to go out there and perform. So we're going to find out a lot about those guys I talked about tomorrow night.
And Dwayne Coleman has had his moments in spring games.
He
so
certainly
it's great
has.
to hear that name, and excited to see Dwayne, that entire quarterback core coming up tomorrow. Jake DeMezzo wants to know, Jeff, can you talk at all about the incoming freshman class?
Well, I'm not permitted to talk about those guys by name because the NCAA rules surrounding an academy. We actually can't discuss any particular player by name until they report here for our day on July the 1st. But Eric Russell, who's a legendary, tremendous coach, 3 national championships at Georgia Southern as the head coach after being the longtime defensive coordinator of the Georgia Bulldogs, the Junkyard Dogs defense, and won a national championship there in 1980. Herschel Walker was the running back on that team. Eric Russell had a saying about recruiting. He said, they all came highly recommended. And it's true. All of our guys were really good high school players. Their coaches were very complimentary of them as people, as students, and as players. And I'm excited. I'm always excited to see the new guys come into the program and see them develop and know that this class coming in this fall, that's the future of Army football. Those are the guys we're going to be talking about 2 and 3 years from now as being the guys that are making the plays and making a difference for us.
Last question of the night comes from Drew Holland. Drew Holland wants to know, what are you most hoping to get out of the spring game, or what are your goals?
I'd like to get out of the spring game without anybody getting hurt.
I agree with that.
That's what I'd like to most get out of the spring game. Stay healthy and have some fun, compete really hard, and I'm sure the guys will compete and have fun. Just hope we stay healthy.
We'll be back one final segment with Army head coach Jeff Monken on our spring special edition coaches show in just a moment, right here from the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
When pain wants to keep you on the sidelines, know you have options to keep you doing what you love. As one of the world's leading medical technology companies, Stryker offers innovative foot and ankle products that help you get back in the game and on your feet. Stryker and Army West Point Athletics have joined forces to help you learn more about foot and ankle pain and provide you resources so you can find a specialist in your area. Visit Stryker.com/WestPoint to learn more.
On April 13th at Mikey Stadium, we wear white. It's a whiteout against Navy, and we need you to wear white with us as we defend our home turf in the Star Match. Gear up in white and join us as we look to beat Navy again. Go Army, beat Navy.
USAA? Yeah, they have awesome rates on coverage for our car, home, and stuff. She has a lot of stuff.
Dad.
A lot of cool stuff, honey. But USAA also has banking, credit cards, and loans. Plus advice and other perks.
Only for emergencies. Thanks, Mom.
And it's all in one spot. So we know she's all set because we've got USAA.
USAA, more than you might think, for the military community and their families.
There's something for everybody to enjoy at West Point Family and MWR. Hit the links at our 18-hole golf course with breathtaking Hudson Valley scenery, or let us host your wedding at our top-class catering venue in the West Point Club. Morgan Farms Historic Stables offers large stalls, outdoor rings, and 3 different horse boarding options in a scenic and private location. Don't forget our very own Victor Constant Ski Lodge. Visit us at westpoint.armymwr.com and follow us on Facebook at West Point FMWR.
One final segment here at our spring special edition coaches show. Rich DeMarco with Army head coach Jeff Monken. Jeff, let's talk about this. Obviously, the spring game tomorrow night, black and gold game, 6:30, Mikey Stadium. Also on Saturday, Army Lacrosse. Women on the road at Navy, men home to Navy. How excited are you for that day?
Let's go 2-0. I mean, let's go get that star. And listen, we've got two great coaches. Michelle Tumolo, what a tremendous job she's done. We're a young program. It's not like we've had a women's program for decades. We're not a decade old.
Yeah.
And she's got this team in a position where they can beat anybody. They can play with anybody in the country. And she was people that don't know, one of the best players in the world.
Ever.
In the world. The best players in the world. And she's our coach. And just the level of competitiveness that she brings and expertise and imagine being a player on that team being coached by one of the best players in the world. Fantastic. Joe Alberici, they're going to rename the school after him. I mean, this guy is awesome. He's been here for how long has he been a coach? 15 years, 14 years?
He was hired in 2005. 2006 was his first year.
He was an assistant,
then he was the first year's head coach was 2006. He was a Duke assistant, and before that was an Army assistant.
Got it. And so now he's got this team where they're ranked number 1 in the country, number 5 in the country, top 10 in the country, beating Syracuse and North Carolina in the same season. Unbelievable. And now we go take on our arch rivals, and I hope they win both of those games. And I'm going to be following both of them very closely. Big white out on Saturday. Everybody's got to be there in their white and cheering loud for the good guys. And so excited for our players. There's nothing like playing that rivalry game, so I'm excited for all of our women and our men that'll be taking on the Squids in the games on Saturday.
After spring ball, before graduation, what does it look like for you?
So our guys will come back to off-season workouts. So typically in the off-season, we're working out every day, 5 days a week. We'll get back to that for the last couple of weeks of the semester before we get into final exams. We let them shut it down for a little bit, get prepared for final exams, take their final exams. They'll go out for summer training. In the meantime, our coaches will be on the road recruiting. We come back together late in May. Our coaches will meet for a couple of weeks and really dive into the season and get ready for preseason camp. And then recruiting gets heavy. Recruiting gets heavy in May and June, and we'll host events and have prospects in every single day in those 2 months. And I'm looking forward to that. It's like I said, one of my jobs to procure talent. So let's keep them coming.
Enjoyable to spend tonight with our listeners, with our viewers, to talk Army spring sports, women's lacrosse, men's lacrosse, and Army football. Jeff, thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot, Rich. I'll see you tomorrow night.
That is Army head coach Jeff Monken. Lots of thank yous to pass along tonight. Ryan Patty keeping us on the air video-wise on YouTube Live, and Danny Ginsberg making the trek up to get all the audio rectified, sending us to, of course, the Varsity Network. Big weekend. Army black and gold spring game for football Friday night, 6:30. Free admission on Saturday. Army Navy women's lacrosse on the road in Annapolis. Army men's lacrosse home to Navy. 1 o'clock face-off. Tickets on sale. 877-TIX Army. Go Army. WestPoint.com. Thanks all for watching, listening. I'm Rich DeMarco saying so long. Have a great rest of your Thursday night, everyone.